Welcome to the Hold My Beard Marketing Podcast. I am Jake the Wizard here with Mitch Barham. What's up, Mitch?
What up? What up?
Anything good going on for you today? Other than this amazing podcast.
Yeah, I mean, this is about this is the highlight. You know, I get to hang out with you for some time. We get to nerd out. This is it's good stuff. I feel like my beard's on point today for people that are watching. Like I was like, ooh, it's like really, it's good. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, if you've never been here before, the Hold My Beard Marketing Podcast is myself and Mitch. We're both agency owners talking through some of the news of the week, what's going on in the marketing space as a whole. And then, of course, we always wrap with our infamous 7 Minutes in Heaven segment, which you don't want to miss at all.
Always a good time.
So, always a good time. Happy endings for all. So let's dive into some of the hot news of the week. Some cross-promotion stuff. Heineken ad featuring Deadpool and Wolverine. And settling their differences because they both choose Heineken.
Oh my God.
Tell me this isn't just brilliant.
Oh, that's so brilliant. Did they actually get Ryan Reynolds and what's his face?
Oh yeah.
Kidding.
Oh yeah. It's really an ad with the two of them.
Wow, that is awesome. No, that's brilliant. I like
all the taste, no bitter endings. I think it's perfect. I'm so happy for you, Heineken team. You did such a good job on this. We need to do more collabs. We need to do more crossovers, more IP usage.
What's up with the beer marketing lately? Like it's getting pretty good because you remember a couple episodes ago, the Star Wars integration in a different country.
Yeah.
And I think there was something in another episode. It was another kind of like alcohol beer thing. And then now this, like, hey, I think they're onto something here.
You know what? I'll throw this out there. I think when it comes to marketing agencies, teams within the beer space, they're just willing to do more weird stuff. That's really what it is. They're more bold.
True.
And I wish more people could take a cue from that, because let me ask you this question. Outside of this, what's the last Heineken ad you remember?
That is a good question.
You don't really.
I don't. No, I don't.
Bad advertising, unless it's like truly remarkably bad, middle of the ground, boring advertising just is forgettable. People don't remember it. So try stuff. Try weird stuff.
Yeah, it makes it stand out. Like this will make this stand out. The beer and the Star Wars commercials, like that stuff stands out. There's like, but just I mean, what was it? It was Dos Equis. The most interesting man in the world, was it Dos Equis, or which beer was that? I think it was Dos Equis.
Dos Equis. I don't always drink Dos Equis, or I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Right?
That made it stand out. Like you correlated this, like the most interesting man in the world, to Dos Equis, and like you still do.
and you didn't alienate. You can only drink Dos Equis. I think that was the brilliant part of that ad. It's like, I prefer Dos Equis, right? Like,
right. Yep.
So, I got another one for you. Again, creative advertising. Again, on the kind of the lighthearted side, Capri Sun is now launching in full-size containers.
Oh,
okay.
Love me Capri Sun.
But get a load of this. Look at this graphic design. Their design for the bottle is just the pouch on the bottle.
Oh my God, that's epic. They literally, here's the pouch, here's some fruit. And I'm a 12-year-old, so I'm looking at the splash marks coming out of the straw there. It's a little interesting, but that's but hey, it's Capri Sun, because we all know Capri Sun as
the pouch is iconic. The pouch, straw.
Yep. Did you ever take them and flip them upside down and put them in the bottom, the straw?
That sounds like you have to pay extra for that.
You do.
But I think this is it's hilariously brilliant. Your packaging is iconic, so use your packaging in your packaging.
Yeah, that's like packaging. It's packaging inception.
Yes.
label inception. Like we're planting the original packaging in your mind that this is the same thing.
Yes.
I love that. That is smart
It's so
because you're
fun.
not used to seeing Capri Sun in giant bottles like that. I love that. That's
No.
great.
No, but if this was on the shelf, I would know exactly what I'm looking at.
100%.
So,
100.
kudos on that. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's head into the world of search, which is we're going to be talking a bit more about search later today. But this one's from Bing. Bing is doing an experiment.
Hmm.
Bing is adding search tag filters to your searches. So now you can bring over these tags and basically slim down your search results utilizing tags. So some of the tags they're including here are site or domain, product, service, company, organization, event, person, and it looks like there's a bunch of others that they're introducing. I'm sure there'll be more coming in over time, but yeah.
Interesting. Do you think this is like could possibly be in response to Google's filter stuff that they've been rolling out?
Well, here's what I would like to see. This would be interesting, okay? I love where this concept is going. This is the kind of evolution of search experience that is actually helpful to people because it allows them to narrow things down. So, some filters I would love to see added as a both as a user and as an SEO would be um like location, like where according to the NLP data of the website, is this website close to me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I can filter by locality.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You don't have to
That
search
would be
near me.
cool. I would also like to filter by freshness.
Oh,
So
okay. So
page
yeah.
page date, like
Mm-hmm.
I want a page that was, written in the last 6 months. I also the other direction, right? I want a page
Mm-hmm.
that's older than 6 months. Um and
I
then
like that freshness idea because it's you do like you'll click into things and see it was wrote in 21 and you're like, oh, okay, this isn't going to be relevant like to what I need done right now or the answer I need. I need
right.
something in 2024 or 2023. Like that'd be dope.
All other filters I'd like to see, removing uh aggregate sites like Reddit and Quora. Not
Yeah.
that I think Reddit and Quora are bad, but sometimes I'm not looking for that kind of information.
Right.
Filtering that out. And then lastly, um domain size.
What does that mean?
So, domain size, here's how this is beneficial. If I want to find more niched information or discover new products, because remember, search and discovery, that's where it all started. And now it's be kind of like, it's not about discovery, it's about commonality. It's about compressing people to the unified results.
Mm-hmm.
Typically what happens when you do that is that those domains, their authority, their domain size goes up. So if I could filter by domain size of less than 50, I'm scraping off Amazon, I'm scraping off Walmart, I'm scraping off all of these, CNET and
Yeah.
all these big sites, and now I can go and find like smaller sites, smaller pages with more unique products that might be more interesting. For example, I just bought new headphones, should be here today, very exciting.
Nice.
Okay, it took me probably 15 minutes in Google search to find a page that felt small and authentic enough where they weren't bought out or trying to sell the affiliate link or
Mm.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a real review of these headphones. I'm really excited for my new ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was like the process I went through.
Yeah, 15 minutes is a little too long. I would have given up.
Well,
personally.
I'm a little bit of an audiophile, and I love my headphones that I have now, but they're just worn out. And I was like, I want to try something fresh. I can always return them and go back and buy another copy of the ones I got. But I'm really excited. So
True. No, yeah,
some
that'd be so that'd be it. That's a cool integration on Bing's end, and then they should listen to this podcast and take your ideas and go, hey, let's put those in there too. I like
Bing
that.
search team, hire me as a consultant. I will help you. We will defeat Google.
I'll give you a reference.
Join me, and we will rule the search galaxy. Sorry, Star Wars. I'm an idiot.
Nerd.
So that's a cool story. I think this is a really neat choice on Bing's part to differentiate themselves. So there you go.
100%.
WordPress, little pop over to WordPress here. Kind of a cool thing. Their latest update added this last mod element, which is really cool. Basically, what it does is, if you don't know this, when Google or search engines in general crawl your site, yes, they go to your site and they click on every page and they load it, and that's how they get the information for their search. Okay. Typically speaking, your sitemap is oriented based off of page creation date, meaning that your oldest pages are at the top of your sitemap. Okay. With the last mod element, they are actually flipping it to your latest updated pages and presenting your sitemap, because you have a crawl budget. And this is where it all comes down to, is that Google goes, you're a small site, I'm going to crawl 100 pages today for you, 50 pages for you today, and then you're done. Your crawl budget is over. And you can check this in your search console if you don't know where to look. It's down in the kind of settings area, and you can find out, your crawl budget. And so now we can actually get the latest stuff, the new changes crawled, rather than hope that Google skips over those or gets enough crawl budget to get down to my more niched pages.
That's cool.
It's a really cool thing. I mean, obviously you should be updating your WordPress anyways. There's tons of security patches and all stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
So please go update your WordPress. But this is just another extra reason why you should prioritize updating your WordPress environment.
Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah, nice stuff. And then my last kind of feel-good article today. We've talked about this in the past. Marketing in the margins. Finding cross sections of different interests and desires, and then marketing to unique subsets. And this, I think, here is one of those great examples of marketing in the margins. So, meet the world's most environmentally conscious chair.
Okay, what is this chair made of?
So, they are utilizing the design uses less material. It's still structurally sound, and it's used of a more sustainable material than, and the production of that material is less than most other chairs. Again,
12 million tons of furniture is thrown out every year in the US. Holy cow. Sorry, I got distracted by that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, and it's like, this is a subsection, people who make chairs, furniture, whatever, and environmentally conscious doesn't get crossed over that often, if ever.
No.
Right? Normally it's, I want stuff that looks good. And, we're getting pleather everything nowadays. And, so it's just interesting to see somebody kind of taking that approach and like really look at this graphic here of kind of the breakdown of how they came to this calculation. Super interesting. Is it a good chair? I don't know. I haven't sat in it, but if I'm not economically, if I'm an environmentally conscious person and I care about that, that gives me a plus in the purchase column, in the trust factor column, for buying this chair.
No, 100%. I mean, they're hitting, because it might not be a huge percentage of people that are like that, but there's a good subset of people in there, and now you've just weaseled your way into that community. I don't know if community is the right word, but that subset of people. Um, and it almost kind of feels minimalist to me as well. So I'm almost also wondering if there's like a minimalist kind of play in there as well, where it's like, hey, it's a chair, but it's like kind of minimal, it's nothing fancy. And it's also economically. There you go. You got me saying economically, environmentally friendly. Um, and hey, it might be economically friendly too if it lasts a long time.
I don't know.
mean,
I don't know how expensive the chair is. It might be $7,000.
I think I saw like $443.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's definitely a different marketing tactic to take in the furniture space.
Yeah. And it's not styrofoam, not styrofoam. What's that squishy foam? Just foam.
Mm-hmm.
And
Memory foam.
Metal. Yeah, memory foam kind of stuff. And honestly, a lot of us spend that kind of money on our chairs anyways. You know,
Oh yeah.
like
I mean,
dining room
I'm
chairs,
not a
office
promotion,
chairs.
but I'm sitting here in a secret lab.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I got Respawn. I'm a gamer.
there you go. You know, so something to consider. Find your margin. Find that cross section that's not being served. Serve it. That's really what it comes down to. So
Yeah, finding the blue pond in the bloody ocean.
you would have an absolute heyday marketing this from an advertising perspective.
Oh, it'd be so much fun.
Absolutely. All right, before we get into the Google I/O breakdown, their conference that they had last week, I do want to show a couple TikTok videos that hit me good this week. So let's pull those up. So here's the first one. I'm going to go ahead and play it. And yeah.
Here's the type of thinking that makes me a fucking ton of money as a marketing consultant for businesses. This text hook is elite brand positioning, because at the end of the day, is there any proof other than this kid actually just being in what might be Airbnbs to actually prove this point? No, and here's why it doesn't fucking matter at all whatsoever. Bro has receipts on receipts and even more receipts. So here's the genius of this entire thing, that you can literally steal and start doing this literally yesterday. By saying, I'm a private chef for billionaires, he's instantly eliminated anybody that is not a billionaire to potentially be a client of his. His target base is locked down, and it's all going to be high-paying, high-ticket clients. But even if he's never worked for a billionaire or a fashion icon in his life, or bro just has the richest friend group of all time, it doesn't matter, because the product he's presenting is amazing. So are these actually Airbnbs? Does this even exist? Or has bro just figured out a way to market himself in the most exclusive and elite way I've seen in a very long time? The answer doesn't matter. The fact is, you could do the exact same thing and nobody would fucking know the difference. And again, nobody would care, because the food and the product that you presented in your content already looks elite, it looks luxury, and bam, you're able to lock down that business easy. How many success stories have you heard of fake it till you make it? And again, I'm not saying Rob's doing this at all. I'm just saying this should unlock your thinking and saying, oh shit, there's a lot. Because let's be real, marketing is 90% white lies. If you can convince people in a certain way and at least back it up with your product, nobody cares how they got to the good product. They just care that they have a good product.
So if you can't see the video because you're on audio, this guy's breaking down this account where he's posting videos of him making meals for billionaires. He's a billionaire chef, and he shows all these cool things. He doesn't ever show the billionaires. He just shows that he's at what you assume is a very nice house of some kind. And he goes to the store. He goes to Erewhon. He goes to these expensive, places and buys amazing ingredients. He makes amazing looking food, presents it in a really nice way. Are you going to buy him? I mean, that's what it comes down to, is he's presenting that he's doing this. Does it matter if he's actually doing it or not?
From a marketing perspective, no. I mean, it was so funny. As he was talking, I literally thought, you fake it till you make it. I mean, that's a whole. I know plenty of people who have done that and are still doing it. faking the way they look, the way they dress, their business size, this is who they serve, blah blah blah, and it's. I mean, that's like, it reminds me of the movie Inventing Anna, I think it was, or the documentary, whatever it was, where she completely faked it. She never made it, but she tried.
She kind of did. Yes, she kind of did make it, and then it fell apart because she couldn't actually put up. Like, I would assume if you are a billionaire and you do hire this guy, you're not going to regret it.
No. Well, I mean, even if he's not like to your point, even if he's not into the point of the video, even if he's not actually serving them, like he's showing the food, he's showing the process, like here's the end result. So you know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So there, in the marketing world, there is a whole fake it till you make it. I mean, even within agencies and everything, it's all white lies.
I mean, isn't that, at the end of the day, isn't that what UGC is? Like, I sent 100%. You a pair of pants that I make. Mm-hmm. You wore them in an ad. You go, hey, I love these pants. Whatever. Like,
yep, 100%. Exactly what that is. That's a good analogy. I like that.
So, really cool video. Something you can immediately start using if you're in any kind of business, really. Anything, even B2B. This would work even in B2B. Here's what I'm doing for major tech companies. Boom, boom, boom. Mm-hmm. So, steal it. All right, here's the other one I got. This one's actually specifically about B2B and how content fits into a B2B strategy.
Pessimistic about B2B marketing because I'm worried that our leaders, the people who aren't marketers, will not let us move away from what's working, like the 2% return on outbound sales. Like, I'm a sales girl. I did 100 calls a day, 2 demos a day, 1 sale for 2 years. In 2006, when I wanted sales, I did more cold calls. In 2024, when I want more sales, I post more content. Mm-hmm. It's not fluffy. It's not a supportive strategy. It is literally 100% of my revenue now. And I just wish that we could get leaders to wake up and give it time, but also equip marketers with the tools, because the video content is not strong enough. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of the millennial pause?
Yes. Yeah.
Like the millennial pause, I trim out 0.3 second gap between sentences in my content. Any fluff word is gone. I don't know, is gone. So it's like, good point, good point, good point. When you think about when you watch video content, you don't have time, do you? If it's not to the point, you're scrolling.
100% accurate. It's so funny. The millennial pause, I literally do what I'm sure you do it too. Like, we trim out a very small segment at the beginning, and then in between sentences, like just like I did just right there, like I had to breathe. It's 0.2 seconds, but like that breath, I cut that out as well. So it's just boom, 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 boom.
Right. It is all value, no waste. Mm-hmm. Very, very environmentally friendly as far as video goes.
Yes, 100%. There's not 72 million tons of video thrown out every year. But then at the same time, like, it's just, I guess maybe I'm like, hopefully I'm interpreting this the correct way, but it's like, it kind of reminds me of the saying of like not being romantic about the way things are done. So like outbound, like a 2% return, 100 calls, 2 demos, 1 sale a year. That is so inefficient. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. And just because that's the way it's been done for the last 50 years doesn't mean that that's the way it needs to be done right now. Mm-hmm. Especially in like the B2B space, like, forget about it. We all get blown up a million times every day. So yeah, you got to pivot.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the big takeaway here for me is not necessarily even the content editing, which if you need a tool, I highly recommend Descript. That's what I use for all my videos. It makes it very easy to trim up those millennial pauses and many other things. But the takeaway is, if you are in charge of a business, let your marketing team cook. Let them cook. Like, yes, cold calling works. It still works. Cold email still works. All of those things are not going away, but you could be getting a lot more return because video at the end of the day is economy of scale. I put out one video, I could have 1 million people watch that video. Likelihood low, but it's economy of scale.
Even if it's just a couple thousand people, that's a couple thousand more people you reached in one day from one video than you could call.
Absolutely. Like cold calling wins when you can call 100 people a day. Right? Because it's just a numbers game. It's the exact same with content. Asterisk, you have to have good content. You have to think about the content, but the same goes for your cold call script. You can't just go on a cold call and be like, "Hey, who are you again? Let me Google you while I'm calling you." Like,
hold on, I gotta look you up real quick. What do you guys do? Oh, okay, yeah. You're gonna be a good fit. Let's go ahead and talk now. No, 100%, yeah. And I love that you said like let your marketing team cook like that. Even on the agency side, and I'm sure you can kind of attest to this too, where it's like, I understand business owners believe they think what's best and what marketing should be done, but it's, the marketing professionals we're in the weeds. We're seeing the trends. We're seeing what's working, what's like pivoting and adjusting and, all that stuff. So you might think one way, but like being able to cook and actually do the stuff back to the beginning, the Heineken commercial. I mean, that's unusual, but it is going to stick with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think of companies like Liquid Death who,
oh yeah,
they could have easily put everything in a bottle. Let's make a better bottle. Let's make a cool bottle. No. Marketing team cooked. What if we put water in a can and we call it Liquid Death? So it sounds like energy drink, intense. It's just water. And that kind of level of thinking is what wins, not staying in the standard 2%. Right? It's, one of my favorite books. I'll bring it up here again. 10x is easier than 2x. It's 10x thinking that grows your business, not the 2x thinking. And so being very cognizant of trying things. And that wraps back around to our conversation we've had many times, which is marketing attribution is almost, I'm going to say this, poison to marketing, because if you can only live within direct attribution or direct ROI, you can't do stuff that's unique and special. You can't.
Nope.
There
I won't
needs
get on that
to be
soapbox,
a
but totally
marketing research budget to just be like, hey, here's $15,000 a year to just do weird stuff. We don't expect any of this back.
100%. Totally agree. There's a lot of times we can't do things like because I know I can't get direct attribution from it, so it's going to get cut in 2 seconds. So you just get shut down. I mean, I'll preface that to people where it's like, yeah, no, I mean, like I want to do this, but just so you know, we're not going to get direct attribution from it, but it is going to play a role, blah blah blah, and you get shot down. But
yeah,
I mean, dude, yeah, the attribution thing it is turned into a taboo thing, or not taboo, but like a bad word within a lot of us paid ads people, were like ROAS and stuff like that. Like it's turned into a bad word. Like we don't like it anymore.
Marketing, this is my strong comment to businesses. Marketing should not report to your CFO. They should be justified, but they should not report to. Your CMO and your CFO should be on the same level. And because your CFO is all about optimization, right? They are internally focused optimization. Marketing is not an internal process. It is an external process, and therefore cannot be optimized until you have a standardized practice, and you can't come up with that standardized practice unless you try weird stuff.
Yep.
So
I agree. Totally.
There you go. All right, let's dive into this meat today. I know this is a big topic. So Google did their annual conference where they talk about, everything going on at Google. And we're not going to cover everything here. We're going to focus more on the marketing elements, because there was stuff with AI video that they talked about. They even brought in Childish Gambino to do some stuff for that. They brought in music stuff with what's his name? I love him. He's crazy. The guy who makes the mixes on the fly on YouTube.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about, in the bathrobe?
I literally watched. Yeah. I literally watched this. I can't remember his name. Shoot.
But
Yeah,
regardless, like, they did a ton of stuff. We're just going to focus on marketing. So let's take a look at some of these major announcements here. So Google PMAX upgrade allows mass AI creative asset production.
Mm-hmm. It's been, I mean, technically that was like being slowly rolled out for a while. We've tinkered with it is probably better, but like the generating images and all that stuff, and it's going to be kind of like the coolest part of the whole PMAX AI generation asset production part for me was how it'll literally pull in like your brand colors, your font, all of that. So now you even have this cohesive look across like your display campaigns and everything else naturally inside of the platform. Now, when it comes to it giving you headlines, and descriptions, and keywords and stuff like that, I've used it as of last week to tested it. It is hogwash, but it's getting there, with its generative stuff that it can actually do. But I really like the fact of like just the branding that you can pull in now.
Yeah, that's really cool. Also in the ad space, AI powered shopping ads.
Mm-hmm.
Same deal.
Yeah, dude, the whole shopping experience is going to just change. What was it? They could you could take a picture of a mug, upload it with Lens, and then it's like, here's the image. Oh, then by the way, here's all these different mugs that are similar to yours, like a coffee cup kind of thing, or like a a Yeti cup, whatever. Like, shopping is my takeaway from everything that was talked about with shopping. Shopping's going to be huge. Like, it's going to be a huge focus of them. I mean, they already have YouTube shopping essentially rolling out, and now shopping's going to be heavily integrated into even the images section. So like, you're looking at images and then look, oh, by the way, here's your shopping feed. What?
Yep, absolutely. The next one I think is really interesting, which is rolling out more positioning types through their demand gen campaigns, which we talked briefly about demand gen campaigns offline, but actually letting video into some of these spaces like Gmail. Really interesting targeting.
Right. And I think they were going to let us kind of whittle down being able to get in front of smaller audiences for demand gen stuff. There's that potential. Instead of having to have thousands and thousands of people, you can whittle it down to like 100 person audience. That's super granular.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be very interesting because I mean, video's taking over, as we've known forever. But I think it's it'll be especially Gmail. I'm very interested to see how video in your Gmail like works.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Next one, Google starts testing ads and AI overviews. I want to come back to this in a second. I've got a little bit of a bigger piece on that.
Yeah, I wanted to hear what you have to think about
this one is interesting. I don't know a ton about this. Ads data manager, first party Google, is available to everybody. I don't even think I've ever used Google's data manager tool. Can you talk about that? Like, what the hell is that?
It's new. They didn't really have it. I mean, it wasn't available. They didn't have it to the point that like most of us could never afford it. But they announced this, and I did a video on it. I mean, like probably 9 months ago that like this was coming, and it was just ironically, I have a whole conspiracy theory about this, but like it ironically coincided with the depreciation of third-party cookies. So everybody was like, well, why would Google strip their own tracking IDs if they're whatever, like blah blah blah? And I'm like, well, because they're coming out with a data platform. So now that we're all going to have to use their data platform to get better metrics. What was really interesting, though, is it's going to integrate Bing and Facebook and all that. So it's not just a Google reporting platform. It's everything. What I'm interested to see, because the conspiracy theorist in me, is how much credit do they give themselves over everything else, if at all?
Interesting. Yeah. It seems like to me, just from an outsider perspective, a little bit that they're going towards Facebook Ads Manager
Mm-hmm.
in kind of how you use Google Ads.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, totally agree. I do
So,
like though that they're calling it first party data unification, which is, you know, you and I preach all the time: first party data, first party data. You know, Facebook stuff is not first party. Even what you see right now in Google is not first party. You have to use third party platforms to get that first party stuff. But now if Google has it, which we all know Google knows everything about everyone, and it plugs right into your store or your website, like it's going to be huge. The only thing I don't like is there was a different bidding strategy that they brought out a few different bidding strategies. One of them was based on profit, because there's a whole conspiracy theory that I know some guys that are testing out right now, that if the platforms know how much a sale or a lead is worth to us, they can inflate the prices without us realizing it. You know, that they're doing it. And so if we don't feed them back that info of what it's worth, so now if you're going to tell them, well, okay, my sunglasses cost 15 and I'm selling them for 50, I want to make $20, so only get me a sale where take this much of my profit. Now we're giving them even more information about our companies and your brand. Now they know that it might not actually cost that much, but they know they can get away with it because we're giving them a ceiling. I don't know.
right.
It's kind of it's like I say, it's kind of a conspiracy thing.
No. I'll be the devil's advocate on that, which is if I can make ads work so consistently and I know exactly my numbers from them, I'll take it. I'll pay them a little more to be hyper consistent.
Oh, 100%.
So that would be my devil's advocate on that. But I'm right there with you. Also, we could just lie. We could just say, oh yeah, it costs me $29 for these sunglasses. I only make $15 of profit. Help me.
Well, the downside is you would have to do that in the back end, like say a Shopify store. Most people are putting their cost of goods in there, so inside of Shopify you can see your margins and everything. So now you got to fib that to then not have Google pull that number, and then
Someone
now
will
your
make a
internal
plugin.
reporting's, yeah, that's true.
Someone will make a plugin. This is what you were talking about earlier, the AI branding tools, which I think is really cool. That's awesome. And then AI powered ads for complex purchases. Now this one caught me off guard a little bit. Basically adding in information in the ad to assist in driving down the funnel.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out, because AI doesn't have taste.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, but there's a lot of stuff coming, and it's going to be very interesting how it all plays out. I really am excited to hear you talk about the SGE ads.
All right, well, let's dive into that. So, Google expands advertising into the AI. So, SGE, Search Generative Experience, is now called AI. What is it? AI. They changed the name for no reason at all. AI Overview. And so if you haven't seen this yet, you probably have if you're in the US. If you're not in the US, they may have rolled it out to you. But basically, at the top of your search results, you can get an AI result that's going to supposedly truncate data it thinks you want to see into a very quick response, along with links to get to that stuff right away. Okay. In theory, very interesting, very beneficial to the searcher, not beneficial to the SEO or to the agency utilizing search as its advertising methodologies, marketing methodologies. But now they said that they're starting to roll in some ads to that AI. So the quality was already suspect in AI overviews. And now we're going to have ads thrown into that? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but as an outsider to Google, if I were to look at all of this, I would almost say Google is self-sabotaging their AI system.
Totally. It's way too early in my opinion. And it's like you haven't even, like, this thing's not even been adopted and people understand it. Like, it's great, but Dude, give it some more time.
I mean, obviously they want to make money. Ads makes money. We know that from the interviews with I can't even think of his name. Pandrakar or whatever his name is. He believes ads is more important than search. He's said that. And so I'm not surprised at the move, but whenever you want somebody to adopt something and it's different, you need to be gradual. That's what Google has done so well with search over the years. Is it's like, oh, here's a new little piece of this. Oh, here's a new little piece of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it breadcrumbs you into normality for these search results. This AI stuff has been a baseball bat to the side of the head.
Almost feels desperate. Like, I don't know why, but it comes across desperate to me. And look, I get it. Money, like, they have to make money. Money pays the bills. But if the user experience isn't there, they're going to go somewhere else. Like, let's look at Facebook. How long did it take Zuckerberg to monetize Facebook? Forever.
6 years? 7 years?
Yeah. It took them forever.
Less if you include Farmville.
True, Farmville, man. I miss farming. But they were all about user experience. I mean, Threads, while it's kind of a wishy-washy platform, it hasn't been monetized yet. I mean, the minute that came out, all of us marketers were just itching. Like, please let me run ads on Threads. Like, oh my God, open this up, please. But it's all that, to me, it's just the user experience. It's like you said, I already don't trust that result up top. I still scroll and will check other things, but now you're going to throw ads in it. I think it, like you said, it gives it less credibility.
It's going to be interesting, but the question that everyone listening to this podcast is going to have is, well, what the hell do I do about it? And I got your answer. I've got it pulled up here. I just want to talk about it. So Google is now adding visuals to source knowledge panels. So if you don't know what a knowledge panel is, okay, Google has an internal Wikipedia. Thank you, Google, for activating on my phone. They have an internal Wikipedia of all of their data. So whenever you search somebody, like, let's just say you search Robert Downey Jr., and you get all these cool little snippets, the stuff they were in, some clips of them, of him talking, list of awards he's won. Those are all being pulled from the knowledge panel or the knowledge graph that they have on Robert Downey Jr. Okay. They're adding more information available into that. As you can see from this article here, Google adds visuals to about source knowledge panels. So that means now they're going to be serving images in those knowledge panel results. And it's more important than ever now, especially with AI overviews, pulling from knowledge panel, knowledge graph. That's where it's getting all of its data. So we need to get in there. And the way that we're going to do that as SEOs is all technically based. There's almost no content-driven elements of this. Some, but not as many as you'd like. So things like meta keywords, schema markup, these are the things that are going to be feeding information into the knowledge graph, the knowledge panels, and allowing you to have more opportunities in that AI result, as well as just a general better understanding from Google of who you are and your consistency and your topics, which should in turn also inflate your organic search results.
All that flew right over my head.
At the end of the day, you need to be looking at meta keywords. You need to be looking at schema markup. If nothing else, schema markup. Go research it. Figure out how to do it. WordPress is not innately schema markup. There's a little bit under the hood, but you need a tool. Rank Math is a great option for that. If you don't know where to start. Otherwise, yeah, you need to be doing schema markup at a minimum, and really as much as you can on every page, because there are hundreds of different styles of schema markup. Schema markup is just a form with preset fields of data. That's all it is. So if you can collect the data and put it in the schema markup and then add that to your page, you're going to be getting that data sucked in by Google. It actually can read it better than your page, and it's going to result in more effective growth in the knowledge graph and therefore your SEO. That's the takeaway.
It's all over my head, but that sounds great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a paid ads guy. You just spoke Chinese to me.
It's interesting. From an SEO agency perspective, I really like this because it's going to do two things. One, it, to your point, is going over your head. It's going to endear great SEO agencies who can do this level of technical SEO for you. It's going to make us a better purchase, right? It's going to make us a better marketing spend. It's also going to eliminate bad SEOs. And I'm going to say a dangerous word here. It's going to eliminate cheap SEOs. Okay. No more $300 a month for SEO, 4 blog posts. It's not going to cut it. You have to be doing this stuff. I put out a video this last week of my SEO checklist. It's baked right from our process. It's 28 points that we're looking at on every single page. 28. That's a freaking lot. And so if you're not doing those, you're going to get some SEO. It's going to do some things, but you're not doing the most things.
Right.
So
it's so funny. It's like, it's literally what everything you were just talking about on the paid ad side, not to like make it about me, but it's like the same thing where like you've seen the change for all of us, where it's a lot more data and data analysis and creative versus button pushing and like some data analysis. Like we got to really know a lot of stuff on the back end, and we're watching the cheap agencies who don't know how to do this stuff or came out during COVID. Like we're watching them crumble because they're not able to do these things to get the best results for everybody, or even good results. So it like flip it back to you guys. It's the same thing. Now you, the really advanced guys, the people on your level, y'all will thrive because you know that this stuff plays a role to where your $300 is just like, here's 4 blogs. Okay. And I changed some title tags. Yay. So it's kind of interesting to see this, the same thing happening in the SEO world as the paid ads world.
Passive digital marketing is not working anymore. That's
no.
it right there. If you want to do digital marketing, it's not passive. You're going to be paying for the time effort involved and the knowledge effort to stay up to date if you really want to play. That simple.
100%. I mean, 100%.
Awesome. Well, kind of went over everything with Google. I think we should pivot into our 7 minutes in heaven segment where we break down a website and give raw, unfiltered thoughts and advice about the things we like, don't like, and would change. Today we've got a really cool account here. They've been around a long time, and I'm excited to break this down. So let me pull up my timer here. I've got 7 minutes locked in. And we're gonna.
I wanted to make so many bad jokes when you said raw and unfiltered, but
raw and uncut, baby. Yeah.
I'm like 12 years old. It's awesome.
So here is 7 minutes in heaven with Newsletter Pro, and go. So my first gripe with this site, because I've looked at this before we started, was they have a lead magnet right here at the beginning. It doesn't tell me what they do.
No, you just get the ultimate guide to newsletters.
Right. And if that's the whole point of the site, that's great. But that's not the point. They actually are a done-for-you newsletter service. And so I think there's a big misstep here with connecting the value of the site to the reader in favor of some kind of lead magnet for future sales. Which, again, if that's your strategy, that's fine. But I think that we're missing an opportunity here.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd like to see that lead magnet move down, because they do have like the verbiage a little bit above the fold, but it took me a minute to see that.
Right. Newsletter Pro does everything for you, guaranteeing consistent communication to increase referrals and maximize retention. That's your headline.
Right.
Newsletter Pro is a done-for-you newsletter service, guaranteeing consistent communication to increase referrals and maximize retention.
I kind of feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that could even be dumbed down more. Like, it's
Probably
wordy.
Well, now I will make this combative statement to that, which is people who appreciate newsletters are probably more lexiconically proficient than other people. They like words. They are wordy people.
They are wordy people. They're not like me and just prefer 4-letter words.
So I do think that there's a gray area worth A/B testing some headlines there for sure.
Yeah.
So now we get to the real header of the page, and I think this is great. Trust factor, high satisfaction, many successful client campaigns, thousands and thousands of newsletters sent every month. Oh, and by the way, it's not just email newsletters. They do print as well. Put it in your mailbox.
That's unique.
Yeah. So now we get into kind of a proof section. Why should you have newsletters? I think there's a little bit of contrast issue in this section. It's a little hard to read the white text on the bluish gray background. I'd just make some adjustments there from a visual perspective. But section is pretty good. I'd even maybe bold a sentence out of this somewhere. Like, you can create and maintain a relationship and build trust. Bold that out so I can really absorb that, because that's the value of this section. Why newsletters? You can create and maintain a relationship and build trust. That's the why and the answer right there.
I like it.
We're not like other newsletter companies. So this is a little bit of a this or them statement, or us or them statement. Kind of falls flat for me a little bit. Give it or leave it or take it. It doesn't really matter that much. I don't think anyone's reading this.
No.
Posts. I definitely want to see posts from them because they make content, so they should have content being made. Pretty simple.
Funny if you got on there, there's no content. Hey, we do newsletters, but you can't read anything we've ever done.
And here's another lead magnet step. Get the free book. Down into the footer. I do like the simple footer. I always prefer simple footers. I do understand mega footers. They work well as well. My opinion in web design, though, again, this is my opinion, is that if you got to the footer, you failed.
Yeah. I totally agree.
What about from an advertising perspective? What do you think could be done with this?
I mean, yeah, I do this everything that we've talked about restructuring, where I mean that lead magnet right up top. I mean, I'm not going to send anybody to the homepage, like ideally, but if they make it there, it's just like there's an ask right away. The minute you land on that page, you're asking for something from the person who gets there, which is you're giving, but you're also asking for their information. So
absolutely. Of this top menu, what would you click on first? Just out of first blush.
Products is what caught my attention right away.
All right. So here we are talking about the print newsletters. Again, smaller lead magnet, I think, is great.
Yeah,
that's totally fine. Print newsletters. No real sales copy here. No engagement. It's just, you're here. We sell print newsletters. Maybe a little bit more of a sales style headline or an engagement focused headline. Send print newsletters to your fan base.
They
Something
maybe
like
have some
that.
statistics and stuff like that, and they're showcasing why they work still.
They've got a couple of different plans here, which I guess I could click on one. It's going to do a little pop-up kind of breaking down that plan. Maybe do this in the structured like X's and check marks kind of style might be a little bit better. And then a schedule now just to get going with them, because it is going to be a conversation.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of sales aspect to that stuff where it's like, then you scroll through it and then you're like, oh, okay, cool, schedule an appointment. Like, again, there's just an ask without doing a lot of selling or education and creating hype. I don't know.
So this is the how it works page. This I think is more along the lines of what we would expect to see on the product page. That walks you through the process of, once I get started, here's what to expect. We get you a ghostwriter. They learn how to write like you. We design the newsletter and get that dialed in with you. And then the editing process. And we are out of time. We could keep going on this, but I think we need to respect, our time limit here.
I mean, it's 7 minutes of us grilling you raw, and I mean that's exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't make it 7 minutes.
Oh, I love how comfortable we've gotten in the more and more of these just being weirdos.
Awesome. Well, hopefully that helps. If you want to have your website featured on the 7 Minutes of Heaven, best place to do it is drop your website down in the comments on this YouTube video. If you're not on YouTube, go over to YouTube and pop it in there. Let us know that you want to get your website done in the 7 minute segment, and we will get you in the queue as best as we can. But yeah, that brings us to the end of our show today. Mitch, where can we find you outside of this?
All across the internet at Beardpreneur on all the platforms, and barhammarketing.com.
Excellent. And of course, I'm Jake the Wizard. You're going to find me at The Wizard Marketing everywhere you like to be. Please go follow Mitch and myself if you want to see daily content. We're always dropping gems every single day. You can also join our mastermind if you want to learn directly from us. We do have a mastermind, teachme4m.com, to sign up for that. We do weekly calls and help you directly with everything you need. So
yeah, buddy.
Great stuff today, man. Good episode.
Yeah, loved it. It's fun.
Awesome. Well, I will catch you on the flip side. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite platform. This is, of course, the Hold My Beard Marketing Podcast. And until next time, bon voyage. Sayonara.
I'm keeping on.